Hello and welcome to Colorado Real Estate Harder Questions Practice Exam. Easy studying, no chit chat, so you can focus. Video 9. Question 1. How does a real estate closing benefit from the preparation of the title insurance commitment? It is a valuable guide to the preparation of the legal documents required to close properly. Question 2. Standard exceptions include rights of parties in possession not shown by public records, easements not shown by the public records, matters that a survey or inspection of the property would show but are not of record, any unpaid lien resulting from labor, materials, or services on a property. Question 3. If the buyer elects to have additional coverage to remove the standard exceptions, the seller will have to prior to closing, the seller will have to execute an owner's affidavit. In the affidavit, the seller will swear that there are no unrecorded liens or leases on the land and that the seller does not owe any laborer for any work done on the property. Question 4. How can a standard survey exception be removed? By having a recent certified survey showing that there are no encroachments, discrepancies, conflicts, or shortages in boundary lines. Question 5. Schedule B of the title commitment sets forth the exceptions from coverage. True or false? True. Question 6. What does Schedule A contain? It contains a who, what, when, where, and how of the title commitment. Question 7. Who is responsible for ensuring that the legal description in the commitment matches the legal description on the deed, mortgage, survey, and deed into the current owner? The closing agent. The legal description must match the legal description on the deed, mortgage, survey, and all recorded documents. Note, the closing agent should verify the legal on all instruments. Deviations in the legal documents cause major problems if not corrected prior to closing. Question 7. If the transaction has a survey, the legal on the survey must match the legal on the blank and the blank. the title commitment and the deed. It must match the legal on the title commitment and the deed exactly. Question 8. What is considered the gap period? The gap period is between the effective date of the commitment and the date the deed is recorded. Question 9. If a buyer elects coverage for the gap period, the effective date will be blank and the seller will blank. Effective date and the date of closing. The effective date will be inserted into the affidavit. The seller will sign the affidavit and swear under oath that no action has taken place to cloud the title between the effective date of the commitment and the date of closing. Question 10. What are two legal documents tied to the effective date? An owner's affidavit and a survey certificate if a survey is used. Question 11. What are three prerequisites for Schedule B1? Item A, payment of the consideration required to complete the transaction. Item B, recording of the deed or mortgage underlying the transaction. Item C, payment of all taxes and assessments due at the time of closing. Question 12. What does the interest in the land tell the person preparing the instrument of conveyance? Schedule A of the title commitment refers to interest in the land. It tells them how to prepare the instrument. If the land is held in fee simple, the instrument of conveyance is a deed. Bonus question. If the property being conveyed is owned by a corporation, the closing agent must blank. The closing agent must check state records to be sure it is in good standing, and the proper party will execute the deed at closing. Question 13. If the property being conveyed shows they are brother and sister, what will the attorney need to do in regards to Schedule A of the title commitment? In this case, the attorney will need to recite in the deed that the conveyance is from the brother and sister by inserting both names in the deed as tenants in common. Question 14. List some of the items on Section B1 that need to be satisfied prior to closing so they won't show up on a purchaser's title commitment. Partial release of deed of trust, termination of a financing statement, release of notice extending time to file mechanic's lien, release of mechanic's lien, provide title company with a full copy of that certain lease, provide title company with a copy of the sublease, full copy of the operating agreement of warranty deed. List all the exceptions that will appear in Schedule B, Section 2, referred to as the B requirements. Taxes and assessments, or pending liens, all mineral rights, existing leases and tenancies, any property that is part of a platted subdivision, zoning restrictions on the property, development agreement. Question 16. Is it true that most of the legal documents having to do with title in connection with the closings will arise from Schedule C? It is true. Schedule C describes the outstanding issues with regard to the title and tells how to address them. Question 17. In a boundary dispute or a discrepancy related to the survey creating a question as to who has title to a portion of the property being conveyed, what legal document of conveyance might be needed? It might be a quitclaim deed from all parties who are claiming the title. Question 19. What legal document will be required showing there are no other parties in possession? An owner's affidavit. The current property owner can sign an affidavit that there are no parties in possession or unrecorded leases on the property. Question 20. Who should determine whether there are any unpaid taxes and public assessments against the property, and how is this done? The closing agent will search the tax records prior to closing. Question 21. Before a title policy is issued, other legal documents might arise, such as some common ones include easements, water and riparian rights, corporate formation documents, trust documents, and homeowners association documents. Question 22. How many days after closing will a title company issue a title insurance policy? Within 30 days, the title company will issue a title insurance policy reflecting the same information as in the commitment, except there will be no B1 or B2. The policy will list all the exceptions that were listed on the B2 of the commitment and were not removed prior to closing. Question 23. What is a mechanic's lien? A mechanic's lien is placed to secure payment for labor and materials used in improvements to real property. Note, vendee's lien and vendor's liens are types of mechanic's liens. Question 24. What is an easement? An easement is an interest in the land that the owner of one property grants to another party. Question 25. The owner of the land is called the blank blank and the grantee of the easement is called the blank party. The owner of the land is called the burdened property, and the grantee of the easement is called the benefited party. Note, the easement gives the benefited party the right to use the burdened party's property for a specific purpose, dictated in the easement document. Question 26. If a title commitment shows an access or utility easement bisecting the property on a purchaser's vacant property, what does this mean? It could mean that the buyer will not be able to build on the land unless the easement is relocated. If this happens, new easements will have to be drafted relocating the easement to a different part of the property. If the deed includes the words "and warrant the title to the property," what kind of deed is it? It's a general warranty deed in short form. Question 27. A contract for deed is really a contract provided after all installment payments have been made or paid off. Is this statement true or false? This statement is true. A contract for deed is mostly completed after a certain time frame, when payments are fully retired, not in the coming days. Question 28. Who is responsible for verifying that the correct deed is being used based on requirements of the contract? The closing agent is responsible. Question 29. Is a deed a transferable contract? No, deeds are not transferable documents. Deeds are newly written contracts. Question 30. The best type of deed to receive is? The general warranty deed. Bonus question, what is a deed to real estate? It is a title to a specific property that may be recorded in the county courthouse. Thank you for studying with O-Shay. I hope you found the material helpful in your studies. Subscribe to be notified when we put out more study materials. And good luck.